What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about the SEADOO Fishpro Trophy. Look at all the seaweed, man. You can see the old stuff here, and then the nice green stuff that's floating in. So that's why I'm not out surf fishing. You could actually see it in the breaking waves. A lot of seaweed there. So that would be a disaster for surf fishing. Anyways, it's nice out today. The water clarity is pretty good, probably about a 7 or 8. But look at all the seaweed, guys, all the way down the beach, all the way up that area. There's a lot of it. Anyways, let's get over here so we can chat about my 1-year review of the SEADOO. First thing is, this thing performs well, especially when it's in the bays. It's really good in shallow water. Look at that helicopter flying that low. Those people are crazy as heck for paying 40 bucks to get on there. That would be too scary for me. But anyways, this thing performs well in shallow water. I was really surprised. When I first got this thing, I had an alarm set on my fish finder and my GPS and all that stuff up there, set for anything 3 foot and under. And as soon as I hit that alarm, as soon as I heard that alarm, I would immediately turn around and not go in shallow water. But I've had this thing in a half a foot of water back here in the Laguna Madre, and it works perfect. It comes with the Livewell cooler, which is a pretty good option, except the one thing that I don't like about it is, I'm gonna open it up and show you. There's no drain on this thing. This is where they tell you to unhook it from back here to drain the water out. Well, you can't do that when you're on the water. So it needs, you know, when you pay $27,000 brand new for the trailer and the SEADOO, you would think they would have some kind of drain built into this thing so you could drain it when you're on the water when you're not using it. For me, that's a big factor when I'm out there, because if you leave this thing running, this thing will overflow with water. So if you put it on the timer, which has got a switch up here where you can put it on timer or continuous run, it fills up to about, I would say, probably 3/4, and it's pretty heavy, man. You're no matter how you try to set the trim, you're going to be riding low back here when you're using it as a live well. As a cooler, it's perfect as a cooler. But a live well, they definitely need some kind of drain system where you can just pull a plug on it and it drains all the water out. Because when I get home, I've got to take this all off. This thing's heavy when it's almost full of water. And I've got to take it off and dump it out and stuff like that. So you would think, paying this much for this unit, that they would have an automatic built-in drain that you can just pull a plug on it. And that's one thing I don't like about that cooler. So should you buy one of these? I would say yeah, if you're under 50. Because guys, if you're my age, this thing becomes a pain maneuvering it back to the live well to get your shrimp and so on and so on. So under 50, yeah, this thing's perfect, man. If you don't have any problems moving around and stuff like that, it's perfect. But if you start getting above 50 where, you know, your bones start aching, you know, stuff that happens when you get old, I would suggest get a boat before I'd get this. Otherwise, I mean, it's great. The one thing that I don't like is when you're sitting up here and you're in the ocean or you're in the bays and you have to get live bait. Well, you have to crawl back here and then open this up and then get your bait and then crawl back up there. So what I need to do is move this up here. So basically all I got to do is turn around and just open it. And you know, when I'm stopped, I have this thing unlatched. So I just need to move it up here closer to the seat. That's one thing I'm going to do. But other than that, guys, I mean, this thing performs perfect. The stereo, I mean, it's all right. It's not bad at all. As long as you don't sit in the same position the whole entire time you're out there with your feet up here and whatever, then you're not gonna hurt as bad when you finally get done. I think the last time we were out, I spent like 10 hours out on the water. So I was pretty sore the next day. Also, you can see how I installed these for the bumper guards right here. There's one here and one here. That was a waste of money. These things are a waste of money if you're down here on the coast, because you can see where I'm at right now. I'm at Packery Channel, and these are some of the worst docks for SEADOOs because they're real high up and they're cement. They're actually higher than the front end of the SEADOO, so your front end on a windy day will go underneath there, and your poles on the back, I've had my lines cut by that cement over there, and then I've gotten some scrapes because of it's just a pain. You can see right here I've got scrapes up here. So these things here, you can get them on Amazon for $100 for 2 of them. If you get them at SEADOO, I think they're 140. But all they do is just slide in here. But they just slide in with this little pin in here like that. That's not going to help you over here much at all. Matter of fact, almost all the docks that I put it in down here, there's only one where these actually work. And the problem is they take up space in your big storage bin here. And really, if you got it down here at the coast, you're going to end up with scratches on this black trim. There's no ifs, ands about it. I mean, when I first started out, I was using them, and it's just it's useless. Plus, like I said, they take up space in your compartment there where you want to carry your tackle and stuff. So that is useless. If you buy one, you're down here at the coast, you're just gonna have to get used to getting some scratches on your black trim. I've got little scratches here on the black trim, and I think I got some on this side as well. No, not on this side, so it's pretty good. That's usually the side I always put up against the dock. And the trailer that came with this, it's not bad at all. The only thing I don't like is this this wheel. I'm gonna actually replace this because that's a piece of crap. The license plate, I'm waiting to break this off because sooner or later I'm gonna break it. You could see how my license plate is bent up. Everywhere that you put it in down here, that license plate always drags on the ground. So I need to probably figure a way to put it up here or something like that. Other than that, there's not really that much I don't like about it. People always ask me questions about it, you know, because they're thinking about buying one. If you're under 50 years old, I would say yeah, because you'll be fine on this thing. And like I said, you could go in shallow water. I've gotten it stuck like 2 or 3 times, and I've had to get out a couple of times and push it. And this thing weighs, I believe, 900 and something pounds. But you could actually get yourself unstuck. But it's perfect back here in the bays. It's also perfect for going out to the rigs. You're probably wondering how this thing handles in rough seas. The last time that I went out to a rig, I believe it was anywhere from 5 to 8 foot swells. And I turned around because it was so rough out there. But this thing did fine. I mean, I had literally water coming over the front end, up over this, and then hitting me. So that's the reason why I turned around. It was just a little bit too dangerous for me. I personally would, if I had to do this all over again, I wouldn't buy brand new because you can find some really good deals on a used Fishpro or a used, I believe they call them a Scout. You can get them for $14,000 to $17,000. So save yourself, you know, 10 grand or so. Rod holders, these things have worked really well. I've got some kind of hole in this one somehow. They work really well. I would suggest putting a bungee around here to make sure they just don't fall off when you're, you know, at good speeds, 20 miles per hour or something like that, 30. Another thing too, I don't use this much on the Fishpro that comes on the Fishpro is this swivel seat right here, which this hooks up to this, and you could actually sit back here and swivel. You're not going to be using that down here in the bays or if you go offshore. It's just you're sitting way up here and it is scary, dude. The only time I've had that where I've used it is on Lake Corpus Christi, and it was kind of windy that day and it was sketchy that day using it. You know, that's another thing that I believe the other SEADOOs that are lower than this, the Scout and Explorer and stuff like that, I don't think they come with a swivel seat. So don't spend more money just to get that, especially if you live at the coast. Now, if you live up in Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, and you use it on a lake a lot, then yeah, it's worth it. But otherwise, don't waste your money getting a Fishpro just to get a swivel seat. It's just not worth it. I've had no issues with this. The connections back here or anything like that is pretty tight. The Garmin that's on here, I think it should come with the upgraded maps, the really good maps that cost me 220 bucks. I think that should be automatically included when you buy these things. So other than that, man, it does a great job. It's easy to hook up. You can see how I have my setup here. It's easy to get out of the water. On a windy day, it's a little bit harder, but other than that, it's pretty easy to get it up on the trailer. It doesn't take any time at all. Anyways, guys, that's the 2024 SEADOO Fishpro. I also, you know, like I said, don't waste your money on these, especially if you live at the coast. But if you're up at a lake like Lake Travis or anywhere up in any freshwater lake, and you put in at the same place, then these might be worth it. But for me, I think they're way too much money. Just way too much money. So after I'm in the bay or I'm going to the rigs or anything like that, it doesn't get a whole lot of water. You'll get water up here that piles up. And again, there's no way to get that water out unless you use some rags or a sponge or use a wetback when you get home. And that's how I get it out, with a wetback. Another thing I don't like is this this anchor is not worth crap. It's just worthless. Plus that cord that's on here gets all tangled up, and that's in this bag. This weight has not held me anywhere unless I throw it on shore between some rocks or something like that, then it works. What I usually do is I use these right here, and I'll tie off to a pole or something like that. So that's what I use. As far as the storage on here, I mean, you got a lot of storage. I keep all my registration, my stuff right in here. My SEADOO gloves, which are right here. And then I'll keep some tools and stuff there. And then down there, I usually keep my tackle. There's your seat for your swivel seat, the back of it. So there's not a whole lot of room in there. That's why I told you, you probably don't want to invest that kind of money in those bumpers, especially if you're down at the coast. I've also got my fire extinguisher stuff and my safety equipment. I do have a paddle in there, stuff like that. So, you know, I wish they would have put like some little things in there where you can just slide your tackle boxes right in there. Because by the time I put all my camera equipment and stuff like that in there, it's piled all the way to the top, and so I have to go through everything to get to the bottom. I do like this right here. You could charge your phone. It has this right here where you can open it up. You put your phone in there, and there's a USB connection. You can see I keep my cord in here. I don't really charge my phone hardly at all because I hardly use it when I'm out here on the water. Unless it's to shoot a live stream or something like that. But other than that, I mean, this thing works pretty good. And that's where the key goes right there. And you've got your trim over here, your IDF. Now that has saved me, I don't know how many times. That IDF is a lifesaver, I can tell you that right now. Let me get down here. The IDF on this thing works great, and it's saved me plenty of times where I've sucked something up into the propeller area and it's blowing it back out. So what I usually do if I'm going in shallow water, you know, that's a foot or 2 foot, like the last time we took it out, I spent probably the good part of the day in under 2 feet of water. So when I got out of that area, I would run the IDF and blow everything out quite a few times during the day. So other than that, guys, I mean, it's definitely good, and it performs well in rough seas. It really does. It's just I don't perform well in rough seas. You know, I'm happy I bought one. It's done its job. I've caught fish on it, not as much as some of the other guys that have these SEADOOs, but I've caught a lot of fish on it, and hopefully we'll catch some more when we get out to the rigs and stuff like that. It's just, if you guys know the Texas coastline, it's kind of rare to have, you know, 2 foot or under seas down here where you can actually get out to the rigs in something small like this. But like I said, if you're brave, you can get out there in 6 foot waves or 6 foot swells with no issue at all. So the seat, don't make that, the swivel seat, don't make that your choice on whether or not you want to buy it unless you live on a lake. If you live on a lake, then it might be something that's worth it to actually pay the extra money to get the Fishpro. Like I said, I've used this one time, that seat, and the whole time I've had it. But so I use, I had things stuck here and it didn't work too well. So I got my rust-proof scissors hooked to this. It's also got a storage bin back here where I keep, I should have taken that out, but I keep some other stuff like my fish grips, extra popping corks and stuff like that in there. As far as maintenance on this thing, is very, very simple, man. Don't pay, you know, I hate to not give the dealers any work, but $558 for an oil change on this thing, that's ridiculous. So it's very simple to do your own oil change on this thing as long as you follow the instructions, and there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that'll show you how to do it. Make sure that after you get all the oil out of it, you hook the water up to it and then you start it up and hit the throttle, and then you turn it off, suck the rest of the oil up, do it again, suck the rest of the oil out, do it again, and suck the rest of the oil out. If you don't do that, you're going to have probably a quarter of a quart of oil left in there, of old oil left in there. So that's how you get all the oil out of it. And like I said, it's easy. If I can do it, guys, you can do it. Believe me, it's that simple to do. So the maintenance on this thing's pretty easy. You know, you take it home after you've had it out a couple of times. You want to take it home and run some salt away through it. And there's a little port back here that you hook your water and your salt away up, and then you run it through the system. I'll usually spray the whole SEADOO down with it, and then that's it. But I don't do it every time I go out. I do it about every 2 times, maybe 3 times I go out. I'll run the salt away through there. Some people do it every time they take it out, but I'm not doing that. So any questions or comments, just put them there and I'll try to answer them for you guys. Like I said, it does its job, and it'll get you into shallow water. It'll get you out to the rigs, and just try to be under 50 years old because you will get mighty sore 50, 60 years old. I'm 60, almost 61 years old, and I could tell you a day on this thing, if it's a long day, 8 to 10 hours, the next day I am hurting. It's not because of the ride, it's because of how you got to sit, how you got to move. You got to crawl back and get your bait, stuff like that. But like I said, if I move this up 1 notch up here, I think that'll work where I can just spin around and just grab my live shrimp or whatever I have in there. I tried to get this thing on the beach because you guys seen in the first of the video some beach shots, but there were so many people pulling up beside me. I mean, right next to me. I couldn't shoot the video out there. So we come over here to Packery Channel where, you know, there's a lot less people, and except there's plenty of seagulls over there making noise. But other than that, this is my honest opinion of the SEADOO Fishpro. Now, I plan on owning this thing probably for another year or so, and then I'm gonna trade it in for a boat. So if you don't have room in your garage to have, you know, like a 20-foot boat or something like that, you could probably fit this SEADOO with no issue. But I think I'll have it for another year, and then I'll go end up getting a boat. Also, I see a lot of people putting trolling motors on this thing. They'll usually put it right up here. Man, if you're gonna get a trolling motor, if you need a trolling motor, you need a boat. I wouldn't waste your money putting a trolling motor on a SEADOO. It makes no sense at all. It really doesn't. Maybe if you're up in on a lake in fresh water or something, maybe, but not down here. I just don't understand why people do that. If you need a trolling motor, you need a boat. And that's my opinion on that, only my opinion. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this little video. Sorry there's no surf fishing. There's been a lot of seaweed. The beaches down here are packed, so if you're coming down here, expect people to be right beside you unless you go down Padre Island National Seashore. Get down to about the 10, 15, 20, there'll be less people. All right, make sure you check out our Patreon page because I do weekly fishing reports on this whole entire area that's updated every Saturday. That'll give you all the information on where the fish are biting, what type of baits they're hitting, and so on and so on. And also we have a Facebook page as well. I put a lot of information on there, and we have a channel on that Facebook page. It's called Coastal Bend Fishing. I'll put some stuff on there as well. So check us out on Facebook, Texas Beach Bum, and then check our Patreon page out. It's got a lot of information on all kinds of different fish. And like I said, I do detailed daily surf fishing conditions on there, where YouTube community section in Facebook, I only do probably half of a surf fishing report. So check those pages out, and we'll see you next video. Hopefully next weekend I can get out there and actually do some surf fishing. I'm just not the type of person to deal with seaweed, and when I was just on the beach, there was a lot of seaweed in the first and second gut. So have a good one, guys, and we'll see you next video. Peace.